Yeah, so does having a title validate your purpose doesn't seem like, something that is far-fetched, because when God makes everyone, he gives everyone a purpose, not a title. And that kind of takes me back to even from the beginning. So talk about like the first man, right? Like God made a son, and his son was meant to do what? To build, to increase, to plant, and to grow. There wasn't a title for Adam saying, I'm the first man, and you must bow to me. I'm the first man, so all the animals should respect me. The title was nothing, but the purpose was be the one that God will use to bring forth the earth. And that goes back to every one of us, right? There's always a purpose for every man. There's always a purpose that God has given to you, not necessarily a title. And it just comes to see that sometimes we want to attribute our purpose to be a title. Like if you're a doctor, you're a medical professional, your purpose might be, just to keep everyone in your space happy. And I say this because many have reached like some heights and they decided this is probably not what I'm meant to be doing. So think about that thing that gives you joy. Think about that thing that you can do without stress. That is kind of pointing you to the purpose that God has given you. Now, one of my favorite characters in the Bible is David. Now, David was anointed, right? He was anointed to be king, but that didn't stop him from going back to the field to do what? To take care of sheep. So take a second, a king and dealing with sheep, it doesn't work. But David would always, go back, and because he had a feeling that he was meant to save things, he was meant to be a leader. When the animals came for his sheep, the bear, he went after them, and that led to the point that even when he found himself on the battleground, what did he do? Despite hearing that, if you kill the giant, the king is going to give you his daughter and lots of wealth. David went regardless, with the purpose saying he won't let God's name be put to shame. Now, that is someone with a purpose, regardless of the fact that no one knew he was anointed king. So yeah, you can do more with your purpose in mind than having a title. So how would you know that your purpose is something that you're actually meant to be doing, or it gives you the strength that you need to take on, day by day? Now, think about it this way. When you wake up in the morning, there's always one thing that drives you. Now, for some persons, it might be silent. For others, it speaks very loud. And every time they walk or they drive towards that particular thing, it gives them what? Satisfaction. And I think everybody has that one thing that God has given them. So think about what you want to do and weigh it against the things that give you joy. And now, God is not somebody that gives you a manual that says, you're going to do A, B, C for the rest of your life. He wants you to enjoy the journey. So part of it is discovering the purpose of God for your life is actually a purpose in itself, because God doesn't want you to just appear and say, Lord, I've done all my checkpoints. Now I'm ready to come back as what? An angel or something. God wants you to be impacted by the community around you, by the people around you. God puts something in your midst for you to solve. God puts something in your pathway for you to encounter. The truth is, some of the things that we've gone through in life, some of the things that we've become is as a result of the pathways, the things that we've encountered. Now, that in itself is a version of purpose. Now, you might be saying, I don't have anything that is standing out, like being a pastor that preach from the altar, or a choir member that sings, or someone that plays the drums. But you are a member of a community, and being part of that community, your purpose can just even be to just exist, because someone else is looking up to you to have some form of fulfillment. I believe there's nobody out there that doesn't have something that is special. I've heard some people say, even my smile, I walk into a room and just the way I smile makes every person smile. But yeah, your smile can be the actual thing that just makes everyone around you feel safe, feel calm. They're able to share, and that might lead you to thinking that if people are able to resonate with you just being quiet, that you can listen, then you're you're becoming a source of inspiration. And that is actually a purpose. Think about it and grow with it. Okay, so if you're thinking about what practical things that you can do to align yourself with purpose, maybe you found it and it seems you've lost it. Now, one thing that God always does is he's always calling. God is always calling us back. Now, I think about the prodigal son, right? He figured out that, look, even the servants in my father's house have even more to eat, have more to wear on their back. If only I can go back to my father and ask him not to become a son, just to become a servant, then he'll be able to take me back. So keep in mind, God is always calling you. Now, every man that God has called, he calls them in a quiet place. He calls them in a place where it's just them. You want to mention some example? Moses, Abraham. Once you figure out that you're going out of path, the one sure way to come back is to go alone. Go alone. God likes to work with people that understand that one with him is majority. So come back to God. You might want to take what? A vacation, a 2-day break, go on the mountain, as some people will say. That mountain can simply mean, staying at home, just locking yourself in and letting God know, God, I'm looking back to where you want me to be. I want to come back home. I want to understand what it is that you want me to do. And the thing is, God is always speaking. He will always tell you something for the now. And I think that is the most important thing. You might have done something in the past that you felt was the purpose for your life. But is that what God wants you to keep doing? Meaning he wants to say, look, I'm speaking. If only you can listen to me, come back and we'll work together. So yeah, think about it. God's purpose for you is ever growing. It changes.